Okay, in this video we're going to start with creating a door. We've got a traditional door and we've got a door that has a window. One could be a front exterior door and one could be a back exterior door. Okay, so anyway, take the normal door. We're going to start with that one. I'll pull this one out of the way and let's get this one in and we'll start with that. Okay? Alright, so just kind of situated so you're on top of the zero and then you're in the center. As close to the center as possible is good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the grid off. So I'm going to go to Show and turn the grid off. Okay, zoom in. Okay, you probably want to lock this in a layer. So let's get that locked in a layer so we can turn that on to reference. And I also pulled it back already from the 0, grid. Okay. So when you're modeling and you don't see your model as you're modeling, then you need to pull that forward or back depending on where your model is setting and depending on where you're modeling from. But if you're facing the Z like I am right here and you pull it back, you should see your model just fine. Again, I'm going to box model, so we create a cube and I start with scaling that up. I'm not too worried about thickness right now, and you can see that my this isn't centered properly, so I'm going to go ahead and center this object. See if I can get it selected. Sometimes, there we go, turn that off. There we go. So I'm going to center this to my cube so I get it just right, so it makes it a little easier for me. There we go. So I centered it. There we go. Turn that back on. Okay, so now it's centered. Now I'm going to pull that down, the vertices down. Go to the bottom. There we go. And then I'm going to turn shading to X-ray so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so that's it. That's how we get started. I'm not worried about thickness. It's pretty thick right now. But what we're going to do is, the main thing is that we're going to create all of these divisions in here. Okay? So I need to start off with the outside perimeter. So I'm going to go in here and go to Insert Edge Loop tool. So I'm going to kind of insert edge loops along these pieces, just like that. And just go down and insert these edge loops where these breaks are in the door. I'm not worried about actually creating a hole because those are just, this is what a door looks like when it comes out of the box without the hardware. So the doorknobs are extra. You'll have to model those separately yourself. Okay, there we go. So there we have it. There's our start of our door. Okay. So if we go into the perspective view, you can see this is what it looks like. Now, I'm not worried about the outside. We're never going to see the outside. We're just going to work on the inside. Now, if I were to do this, I'd be doing both of these, extrude both of these at the same time. Okay? Okay, so what we want to do is we've got these pieces that we need to extrude. Okay? Now, a lot of times when I hit the Control E, keep faces together is on normally, okay? So when I do any of this stuff, this works to my advantage, right? You can see that I'm going to be using now the manipulator that comes with it, okay? It may be accurate, it may not be accurate. I don't, it doesn't really matter. But right now we're just kind of using that. And you can see that I'm going to start with adding this detail in the door. Okay? All right, so to do that, I'm going to Control Z back to where we were so you guys get an idea what's happening here. So I'm going to start again. All right, so I'm going to start with extruding. Okay? Control E. That'll bring up this polyface here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move in. So you can see the first thing, I know I've extruded a lot of doors. Even though it's hard to see here on this image, it's pushed in first and then brought in, pushed in and then brought in and then moved out again. How do I know that? I just modeled a lot of doors. So I'm going to push it in. Okay, got it pushed in. All right, so pushing it in. Control E, extrude, and then we're going to scale those in, okay? So I'm going to click on this guy right here, okay, and scale those in. See how that works? I'll do it again. Okay? So I had to actually click on one of these. I didn't actually move it or anything to activate the center to scale it in. Okay? Now it's not scaling. I'm just kind of looking at this upper one here. It's not scaling exactly how I want, but I can fix the rest of these. Okay? So I'm going to get it where I want to on the pad there. And you can see these are kind of too much. That's scaled too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, click on that, and I'm going to fix that. Okay? I'm going to click on that. I'm going to fix this one by one. Okay? Fix that one. And fix that one. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. So now we're going to go back into extruding. Okay. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we extruded that in, and now we're going to bring it in again. This time we're going to kind of bring that in and then extrude that part out again. So here we go. All right, so let's go back. I'm going to work on just the top so I can see a little bit better. So Control E, right? And we are going to push it back. Push it back. Okay? And this time we're going to scale it in again. Click on that guy right there in the end, and then click on the center. And that scales it in just a little bit, like that. Just a little bit. Kind of give it a 45-degree angle. We can always push that out just a little bit. Pull it out if we pushed it too much. There we go. Okay, that looks good. And then I got to fix these guys again, unfortunately. Okay, so now I'm going to go into scale these up a little bit. Again, I'm just doing a little bit. Okay, like that, because it extrudes too far down. Okay, there we go. There we go, good, perfect. All right, now we're going to go to the next part. Click on these centers again, these faces, and we are going to extrude it again. Okay, so now we are going to extrude. Okay, extrude, Control E. And we're going to click on the scale tool again. Okay, scale tool. And we're going to scale these in like that. Okay, scale those in. Again, I'm going to need to fix these real quick. And non-uniform scale those up. Okay. Right. Again, I'm recording this, so if you're missing something, that's okay. All right, so I'm going to select those again, and then we're going to pillow extrude these out, okay, to give it that next extrude. So Control E again, and then we're going to pull it out, right? Pull it out. Okay, that's the pillow part right here, and then we're going to click on one of the cubes here and then scale that in. And there we go. And we got that beautiful pillow that pulls out. Okay, and of course we need to go back in here and fix these. Okay, there we go. All right, that is your door, and it looks really nice. So there's my door. Okay, so all I need to do now is to go in here, and you're never going to see this, but go into the vertex. Select the vertex from the back, pull it in, and now your door's ready to be placed. Okay? Alright, so we'll place it right about there. There we go, in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and do Edit, Delete by Type History, Modify Freeze Transformations. Okay. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is actually create the door, the siding and the door here. Now you can do it like I showed you before with a EP Curve tool, right? So if you saved your EP Curve tool, you can actually bring that in here and scale it and do the work yourself. but I'll go ahead and do it from scratch, and we'll do this very quickly, okay? So, oops, looks like I made a mistake here. You got to watch what you're doing. If you select more than one face, I'm not gonna worry about that right now. But I accidentally must have selected an edge or a face accidentally. Always watch what you're doing, okay? All right, so if that happens to you, you have to go Control-Z back and fix it. But right now, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to move forward. All right, so I'm going to go in here and we're going to create a edge, kind of like the picture frame edge, okay, with an EP curve tool. All right, so I'm going to place this in here, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do an edge. I'm going to go from the top view down. So go to Create, Curve Tool, and then EP Curve Tool. And we want to make sure we set it, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and create that curve that I'm going to make for that door. Okay, so I'm going to start off with that on, with the grid snap on, and then I'm going to turn that off and just kind of free form it. And then I'm going to go ahead and snap that back. And then I'm going to go in here and fix all of these control points so we get a nicer turn off grid snap. And pull those together to make sharper edges if we need them to be sharper. All right. There we go. All right, so that's good. All right, so now we've got that. This is going to be our molding for the door. So I'm going to bring my door back again here. And we're going to go ahead and place that in the corners and scale that down. Move that up and get where I need it to be in the corner. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple rotations here real quick. 90, and then I'm going to do 90 this way. Here we go. And move it over. And I'll probably, I think that looks pretty good. Scale that down a little bit more. Okay, and probably rotate it again this way like that. So 180. Once I get it exactly the way I want it, then I'll move it over and see if it fits the trim size. And that's pretty dang close. Wow, that's pretty close. I might scale it out just a little bit more. Whoops. Like that. I can't tell where it is. Okay. And then I'm going to go to Modify Freeze Transformations. Clear all that out. Go up to here and rotate it 45 degrees. We talked about that. And we're going to go into rotational values. Am I in rotate? Yeah. Okay, so we want to transform constraint relative and 45 degrees. Here we go. Now we can rotate that 45 degrees and pop it in where we need it to be. Now I need it to be a little bit longer, so I'm going to extend that out a little bit and get that set up. Alright, so I'm going to take that, Control D, move that over, rotate it,